Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I wanted to share with you this cute box that is created using a design from Angie, Juda, Chicken Scratch. And I'm using Traditional Labels Bundle, Delicate Pines for these little pines in the background, some of our gold striped ribbon, Real Red, of course. And I'm also using Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. So let's start. I made a template. The paper is 9 1/4 by 7. So I scored at 1, 2, 3 3/4, 5 1/2, 7 1/4, 8 1/4. Then I turn it on the 7-inch side, score at 1 3/4 on either side. So let's do that. I'm going to keep that over here as a reference. I'm going to score it at 1. And I'm going to score it at 2. Then I'm going to score it at 3 3/4. I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. I'm going to score it at 7 1/4. And I'm scoring it at 8 1/4. Now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. That should be okay because that's in the middle there. And I'm going to flip it and go 1 3/4. Then I can put my scoreboard away and do the next portion, which is the cutting. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my bone folder and I'm going to fold on all the score lines. Make sure it just helps when you're working with this. Giving crisp bone folder lines really help when you're creating 3D options. Okay, so now I'm going to go, like that little bit will probably be covered up with DSP, so it's really okay. And there we go. So I've got all the lines. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to have this here so you can see it, both of them at the same time. I'm going to take off these 2 rectangles and these 2 rectangles. I am not mitering the corners. I did that the first time, and then I realized why she didn't put that in the directions. You do not need to miter the corners. So I'm just cutting straight. And I'm going to do that on the other end also. So on the other end, can I keep these to do the little die cuts? Sure. You can do anything you want with the little scraps. I keep some that I use for small things to die cut, like the gingerbread man hat. You know, lots of little different things. Okay. Look like I missed a score line here, I think. Okay, so now I've got the ends cut off. The next thing I'm going to do is cut in. Once again, you don't have to miter the corners. All right, now the last thing I have to do is these 2 middle ones. I'm just going to fold that down, and I'm going to just, you don't have to measure, just cut it in half. It's about as easy as it gets. No mitering, and really, the measurements are pretty easy. That's why I have that cut there. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to put on the designer series paper. Angie only did one side. I wanted it to be decorated on both sides. Now you're going to get some small pieces of DSP, which are 3/4 by 3 1/4. So that kind of matches up there. They won't all match up. I did my best job to cut them, but you know. So I'm going to put the top 2 here. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Right there. And adhere that. And I'm going to adhere this one. Right there. Now I'm going to adhere a bigger piece, which is 1 1/2 by 3 1/4. Make sure you get that glue off so I don't stick to it there. I'm going to turn it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. I like to put the designer series paper on first before I make up the box. There is no rhyme or reason how you do it. That's just how I prefer to do it. I feel like it gets you a better flat surface to make your box. But that is a personal preference. Okay, and one more here. Okay, so I've got all the designer series paper on, and I have my box parts all together. So what I'm going to do, one thing I'm going to tell you right away, fold that back. It'll help you when you're putting the box together. So I have these 2 flaps in the middle that we cut off in half. And what we're going to do is add some adhesive. And I always do it a certain way, but you don't have to. I just put the 2 sides up, hold for a minute, just to let that glue sit. Try to get it as square as you can. Add the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing. This time, I'm going to add the adhesive. It's going to go that way. So I'm going to add adhesive on the flap. And I'm going to just push that together, make sure that is nice and flat. Same thing here. If you haven't watched Angie Juda or Chicken Scratch, she's wonderful. Now this should be the back because that's where the seams are. So this will be the front. Before I add the ribbon and all of that, I'm going to, and I just dropped all my stuff. I love when I do that. Okay, here is the Marion Bright with red ink, and I have 2 of these. What I did with one of them is I cut it in half, and I put just a little bit. I'm going to actually use this kind of adhesive, and I'm just going to kind of pop that up there. There's a little bit more adhesive here. And this one, I'm just going to add 1 at the bottom. So I might actually cut that in half too. I only need half of it. Keep the other half for some other fun thing. And I'll add a little bit of adhesive, actually. Down here. I might put that up just a little bit farther. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to get my dimensionals out. And I'm going to maybe move this to the side a little bit. Adhere that, just like that. Got to get that one over a little bit. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I have about 12 inches of the gold ribbon. And I forgot to do something. So let's see if I can do it now. Angie corner rounded. This is an old corner rounder, so yes, I can do it now. I'm just going to round these top flaps. You don't have to. If you have a corner rounder, you can do it. If you don't have a corner rounder, it looks fine without. Just gives it a little finished touch, I think. Okay. And the very last thing I'm going to do, and if that's the back, so this is the front. It'd be helpful if I had the Merry and Bright on the front. And I'm going to take one of our new punches, and it's in a punch pack. I'm going to kind of line it up so I'm eyeballing it in the middle. And you really have to push hard because you're going through a lot of cardstock. Let me get that set again. Does that look like it slipped just a little bit? And it always spits stuff all over you. So that's always fun. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and adhere the ribbon through. Sorry for the shadows. I'm trying to get my lighting in a better way, but I'm not sure I did it, so we'll find out. I'm still working on my lighting to make some evening videos. Now that it's winter, it gets dark so quick. You know, you're like, oh gosh, I need more. Oh, here's what I'm going to tell you. I always tie the bow this way, turn it over, and tie it the other way. I have more success getting the bow to stay the way it's supposed to when I do that. Don't ask me. That's just how I tie it. And add a little bit of a tap. And the last thing I'll do is trim off my... Is that not the cutest little box you've ever seen? So I hope you give it a try. It is not hard, and it's a lot of fun. Have a great day.